Hello and welcome back to the channel as we continue our route down the Blackburn Valley Line in part 5. So I'm here today with Johnny from Wet Dog FPK. So please give his channel a subscription. I'll leave a link in the description below as he explores disused railways. So we're continuing our route from Chapeltown Station, which was just behind me from part 4. I'm going to continue down towards Ecclesfield East Station further down the line. So in part 4 we finished at Chapeltown Station, which was just behind this bank in here. The route of the line would have continued across here, Station Road, onto an embankment going through this housing estate. You can already see a little bit of railway memorabilia. So there would have been a bridge here. You can just see what remains of a, looks like an old fence post, a concrete fence post. So we're on to Copper Ice Rise, and our route of the railway would have followed on behind where this bunch of vegetation is. Looks like it went along a embankment that looks like it's been demolished. So we're heading through this new housing development to the site of where there was a goods shed. Now there's no trace or no evidence left of that goods shed, but I can point to where the approximate location of it was. So the track did look like it widened out into this area here, and to the left. Yeah, it looks like the goods shed was on the left over here, wasn't it? Right. Yeah, so on the maps it does show that the goods shed was to the left, just where these houses are. So just behind here, looks like there would have been some kind of sidings that would have led to the goods shed. You can see how the area does widen out. So our main track bed would have continued along this road that I'm walking along. Over there you could just see the wall, which looked like it was the back of where the goods yard was. Obviously you can see how wide this is. Our main track bed here. The goods yard would have been all here with the extensive sidings. We're now going to continue our route along the railway. You can see we're approaching a cutting. So we've entered into near Smithy Wood. There's a scout camp just behind there. You can see here we're in a what looked like it was a cutting on the track bed, and it does look like there's been a lot of earth that's been filled in to form this little pathway. So back there was the Chapeltown Station and where the goods shed was. So looks like here there's been a lot of reclaiming of the land. There are a lot of relics that we've rediscovered down this section of the line. You can just make out down there, just at the corner of this embankment, there's a massive row of fence posts, and these do continue for quite some time down along the line. There are a few other relics that we've come across as well. I can see here how the ground level does slope. It does look like there was some brickwork here at one point, but there's no evidence of any building that was around here. You can see a brick just in the corner here, so being old red brick means it must have been something to do with the railway. You can see all this material down here, so I wondered if this was something. See more fence posts. Like I said, there's a lot of fence posts that kind of follow the embankment. Now we have come across more brickwork. You can just see here, and down there you can see some a red brick block there, and here you can see a lot more material. So I'm wondering if there was some kind of bridge or footbridge that went under it at some point. If you do know, please leave a comment. See a few more fence posts just down here. So back onto the track bed. As we have a look to the right, got another row of fence posts. So they do run along both sides, so they have kept a lot of the railway memorabilia after the line closed, even though they did convert this into a public footpath. Got the remains of some something here, red brick, but we are got a lot of if you go up here, we've got some conveyor belts by the looks of it, some that are embedded into here. And I wonder if this was to transfer some of the spoils from a nearby pit over there. Could you see it all here? Well, if you just take a look further down this way, You can see the massive spoil heap in the corner, just where Johnny is. Got a few fence posts here, got one here. And you got a couple of broken ones just down on the corner. Whoop. And back here we've got a spoil heap. So is this coal?
Yeah, there's some lumps here, look.
Yeah, coal lumps, yeah, it looks like coal. But yeah, so looking at the maps, this was actually the site of gravel pits, which does explain why all this spoil is around here. So it does explain the conveyor belt, like you saw down there. You could just see here some of the old building. And on top of this brick it looks like it says something to do with Winco, or is it Winco Bank, I'm not sure. You have a concrete fence post that's laid next to it. You've got part of the old Hoyland brickwork bricks that we rediscovered in part 2. So we did a recce around the site of where these bricks were manufactured. So if you haven't seen that video, please give it a watch. You can tell it says Hoyland, it's broken in half, but it stands for Hoyland Brick Company. Now these gravel pits, they're known as open pit mines. And these pits, they often lie in river valleys where the water table is quite high, so they may naturally fill with water to form ponds or lakes. You can just see more remainders of buildings, concrete base there. Seen a bit of red brick around here somewhere. You can just see a little bit more red brick down here. It's all covered in moss. And the remainder of some building here. Got another line of fence posts just here. As we head back onto the trap bed, you can see all the fence posts in a line going down here. Anyway, back onto the trap bed. So the gravel pits would have been just up there. So we're walking down, looks like down an incline. So there's been a lot of earthworks around here. We just have a look to our left, we can see a cable post over here. So as I mentioned, that there were a row of fence posts, but if I just take a little detour off the line, got a cable tensioner up here by the looks of it. It's still got its metal work on it. To see it here, and we'll just look at the row of fence posts that seem to follow the line across. And we can looking at these all day, because there are quite a lot of them going down the trap bed. There's a few more behind these trees here. Also, these were to mark the boundary of the railway, if you don't know. A few more down here. Stumbled across this red brick here. Now it looks like it was something. Now we've got two things we think it might have been. A potential chimney, part of the gravel pit. But the gravel pit was all the way back there, so I think it would have been quite hard to shuffle it all the way down here. I stumbled across another load of fence posts, but round here we've also stumbled across where we believe there's a site of another gravel pit. Evidence, you can see the top concrete slab there. There's plenty of red brickwork, and if you remember those conveyor belt sheets we showed you earlier, we found a lot more here. You can see here a lot more red brick. Also, you can see a lot more conveyor belt in here, and more here. There's a lot more evidence that I can just see over in the distance, so I'll just take you over and show you that. Here you can just see here more evidence of red brick, which would have been part of the buildings that were around here. And if we just head further, just around this corner, you can see a spoil. You can see a coal heap over there, like the one we saw just further back, and a mound load of concrete slabs and red brick, which was clearly once the building part of the old gravel pits. You can just see some coal over there, some spoil heaps, and more evidence of building just in the corner, just under that tree branch. But yeah, here's where you've had a mass load. Found some steel work here. Because it's riveted, you can tell it's old, it's not welded on. So we're heading further down the line. You can see how there's a lot of spoil here, where it looks like we were at a lot of lower level when the railway was running. And I can see there's been a lot of earthworks around here in the past when they've converted this into the walkway, because just stuffed into the side of where these houses are, you can see a lot of railway relics and memorabilia. You can just see a fence post hiding in the corner. I don't know if you can just make out the concrete fence posts down there. I did spot something when I was back here. There's more concrete slabs just in the corner down there. You can see more fence posts as we head slightly further down. And then if you just have a look there, you can see what remains of a broken it's like a cable post tensioner, what we saw further back that way. You can just see it's just upside down and been just pushed into the corner. Just found a another cable tensioner here. You can see just at the back here, it's still got its pulley on it. You can see the mechanism wheel there. Interesting. See the row of fence posts that continue down the line. I think I've seen more fence posts still left on this line than I've seen on any other disused railway put together. So they seem to have kept them all when they converted this into the walkway. See more fence posts as we go further down the line. They do seem to dip a little bit, marking the boundary of the railway. So got one there, and then the next one kind of dips down. Now it looks like this fence was built partially on the railway that goes into people's gardens. Go a little bit closer to these fence posts. Johnny's just pointed out that this one here, you can see that there's still a few wires that's been attached. It's very rare you still see this. Normally they get salvaged, but yeah, you can see the wire in there. See the cable tensioners just on the concrete there and at the top. See a few more fence posts, but you've got this taller concrete post here. Just come across this concrete post here. There's potentially a signal mechanism on the back of this here. See the old metal work. It's not moving, but it's an interesting find. And we're just approaching this bridge that carries the A629 that had gone over the line. Here's a view of the bridge. Stone bridge, carries the A629 across. Got all this metal work here. Now, was that used for cabling? Leave a comment. So we've got a piece of metal work here. Now the ground base of the bridge was made out of stone, and red brick just underneath. You can see where, see soot, where the trains would have left these soot covering the brick, but you can clearly see it's red brick. Got a bit of graffiti, but the bridge is in really good condition actually. So if you just take you on to the other side, so you've got some of the metal work that was on the other side, and apparently were cable tensioners. You can see some of the metal work there hanging off. And another one up there, got three of them. And looks like we've got what remains of an old signal or telegraph post at the bottom, snapped off. If we just take you to the other side of this bridge, you can see how it widens out. Got the red brick supports and the stone slabs at the top, just up there. It's great to see these things still standing on the disused railways. Normally things like this get demolished unless they're still needed. That's looking back towards Chapeltown, and we're now heading into another cutting down towards Ecclesfield Station. Got some stone steps that go up towards the A629. See, they're made out of red brick. If I just give you a closer shot, but if you just have a look up there, you can see a remainder of a pipe. And if you just have a look at these supports, just at the top, you can see a little bit of depression at the bottom, and it looks like the depressions were to keep pipes in place that went across the top of the bridge. There's another one there, you can see a little curved depression there, and then one slightly further on. Now I don't know if you can just make out that there's a part of a pipe at the top. I'll just zoom it in. And I've seen a little bit of a recess here. You can see some brickwork, and it is marked on the maps that there was no shaft around here. So I'm wondering if this has all been filled in. But you can see red brickwork. You can see some more red brickwork that goes up and then to the back of here. You can see the depression here. So it is marked on the maps as an old shaft. If you do know more, please do leave a comment. You can see here now we're in a mini cut-in. That's looking back towards that bridge, carrying the A629. Now, I do think that the railway was at a slightly lower level, but you can see how the footpath goes down onto a decline. Now we're getting towards the section where the track bed disappears into an industrial estate. So this is where we've just come. Our track bed would have carried on along here. Now there's a demolished embankment running into this industrial estate. The track bed literally disappears, but down there was the site of the Smithy Wood pit, I believe, closed in around the 1970s, 1974. The track bed would have followed right through here, past the site of the colliery, and literally they've gone through this building. So we're going to pick up the track bed on the other side. So we'll come to the other side of that building, following on through the track bed where it came through here. So this was the site of the Smithy Wood coking plant. You can see that there's literally nothing left, but there's a DPD depot just over there. And we're back onto the track bed, which looks like is on an embankment. So we're going to now follow it down towards Ecclesfield Station. So that's looking back towards the building where the railway came through. So the track bed alignment is here. You can just see it's quite different. Literally just there's industrial units just down there as we follow the line towards Ecclesfield. As you can see, we're on an embankment. No signs of any railway relics so far. So we'll just continue along the route of it till we come across the next thing. It's back fully on course of the railway. We've literally found no railway memorabilia. So we are back onto a footpath that follows the old railway line. So we are back onto another embankment that the line followed. See how it does go kind of wide here. And looks like we've got some potentially old drainage channel that runs alongside the railway. You see how it follows the route. Now there's not much to document down this side of the railway, but we are coming up towards the site of a junction that went off towards Smithy Colliery. So we're going to find it just as we head down this way towards Ecclesfield Station. So we're just approaching the site of the branch off to the Smithy Colliery. You can see where the track bed splits onto here, which goes a little bit further down. Now there is evidence because you can just see in the distance. I might even just go down there actually. So I'm just walking down onto the branch line towards the colliery. I'm not going to go all the way, but there is a fence post marking that there were railway evidence. You can see the concrete post there. So I've just come down a little further, and this would have been potentially the site of where the branch was, because you can see a lot of fence posts down in the corner, and it looks like it would have ran at a lower level. You can see some brickwork remains, and I'm not sure if that was part of a signal box. It doesn't mention that there was a signal box around here on the maps, but you can see a lot more fence posts and concrete slabs here. This is the only little bit of railway memorabilia we found at this section of the line. We'll see if any of these bricks say anything on them. Can't really say, it says Woodlouse. But yeah, you can see a few more fence posts going down here. Looks like you've got part of an old wooden sleeper down there, just in the distance. And I'm not sure what this concrete post is. You can see it's still got a bit of metal work on it. Just approached this bridge that carries the line, or carried the line across Loitchert Lane. Now this does not look like it was original, unless it did narrow out. As you can see, there's only room for one train. But it does look like partially the bridge was demolished on the other side, because it was double track. If I just take you back, you can just see how partially the bridge has been demolished just over there, because it was double track, and you can just see the remains with the abutments. So we're currently at the site of Ecclesfield Station, so Ecclesfield East Station. You can see there's barely anything left. You can see a load of sleepers just in the corner, and there's a load more back there. Before I do go, I'm going to just go down here and show you that bridge that carried the line. And here's the bridge. Now the bridge that I walked across wouldn't have been the original, that would have been a replacement for the original, because I pointed out that the bridge had been demolished. The abutments are still left, the stone abutments, which you can see at the bottom here. And you can see at the top there, there's a bit of pipe work, and it looks like we've got a looks like a railway sleeper under there that's just stopping all that spoil from falling down. Now look at this. This is the new bridge that was put in place on the abutments to form the walkway, and you can see just here where the old bridge that's missing, because like I said, it was a double track line, would have come across here. You can just see just over there a little bit of metal work, which looks like it was a bit of framework for the supports. So this was the site of the Ecclesfield East Station. So the original one was opened in 1854 in September and closed just 2 years later, and it was replaced by a new station opened in 1876. With the buildings and staggered platforms linked by a footbridge costing just under £2,000. And it cost £1,985, including the sidings and the approach road. I believe the approach road was here. Now the station closed in 1953 along with the other stations on the line on the 7th of December. So right here I'm looking at the site of the station station platforms and the station buildings. Now when they built this fence here to convert it into the walkway, they would have demolished part of the alignment of the track bed to make way for this fence. So we're looking here at the station platforms being around here somewhere, and the station buildings. As you can see this picture that I'm about to fade in. So if you just take a look at that line of trees there, this is the curve. Station buildings that have been on the right, platforms as well. So we're just going to see if I can fade this picture in now. Just over there you can see a load of sleepers, and then there's another pile of them over there. Absolute load of sleepers that have been salvaged. You can just see the remains of a building there. Now this was the site of the good side of the station. Just give you a view of the sleepers, old stone sleepers. And you can just see the remains of one of the old goods buildings. See a lot more railway sleepers, and this would have been the other platform, you can see that there's still a bit of rail down here, which is interesting. So it's still got a bit of rail. You can see a lot of remains of the platform, so this would have been the other side of the platforms. And you can see a load of red brick here, which shows signs of demolished buildings. So yeah, this would have been the platform right here. Station buildings would have just been here. And you can see a lot more rail just as it disappears into the track bed. So we're just following the route of the alignment of the track bed as we head past the Ecclesfield East Station, where we're going to conclude part 5 of the video. You can just see down there the Midland line between Sheffield and Barnsley that runs adjacent. So on that line there would have been the Ecclesfield West Station, which I believe is still in operation. Same line as the Chapeltown station. We do have some building remains that you can just see from the other side of the platform, that just remains there. So the original photo fade that I showed you, where you saw the station buildings, this would have been the remainder of those buildings. Anyway, thank you very much for watching part 5 of the Blackburn Valley Line. Thank you from myself and Wet Dog.
Thanks very much. See you later, guys.
And we'll see you again for part 6 following right here at Ecclesfield Station down towards Winkerback Junction.